Good evening, centers. Good evening, all of you. Yes, children, how are you? Shillong? Only Shillong has logged in till now. Yes, how are you, children? Are we connected? Let me know, Shillong. Rest of the centers, please let us know. Are we connected? Yes. Yes, Shillong. Okay. So who is going to tell me what we were studying last class? What was the topic of our discussion in the last class? Yes, Shillong. What was the discussion about in the last class? Tell me, who is going to remind me about it? Okay, first of all, tell me how many students are new at Shillong Center? How many of us are meeting for the first time? Yes. Tell me, please. Yes, Shillong. How many of us are meeting for the first time? Is there somebody new? Yes, children. Camera port number is 8084. Is it? Okay, two of us are new. Okay. So, okay, fine. So just wave me your hand if you can, like if this is you. Yes, just wave at me. 8084 camera port number. Just wave at me. This is you, Shillong Center. Yes. 11th Shillong bio. Okay, fine. So yes, you can. So what was the thing we were discussing about in the last class? Yes, tell me. What were we discussing in the last class? Yeah, children. Tell me. Nothing. Don't remember a single thing. Yes. Last means obviously my last class, not Ravina ma'am's last class. Ravina ma'am is teaching you cell, I know. I am teaching you zoology, she will be teaching you botany. I am talking about zoology last class. Yes. What was it? We are talking about breathing and exchange of gases, isn't it? So those children who are new, those who are like meeting us for the first time, we were talking about a chapter which is 17th chapter of your NCERT syllabus, and this is about the mechanism of breathing. So this was a particular chapter. This is very, very interesting chapter, very nice. In fact, I like all the chapters from human physiology. They all are my personal favorites. So they are of great interest. They actually are very nice, interesting. Yes, all the rest chapters are also interesting, but these chapters are more interesting because it gives you an insight inside your body, what is going on in your body, that is totally told by these chapters. So this is in a way very much linked to your own system. So we feel very connected to it, I feel personally. So we were talking about some mechanism of breathing. We talked about certain things. The chapter is in mid of its procedure. So we were talking about some particular things, that is basically what is respiration, isn't it? So whenever you are taking in gases and releasing out gases, that is a basic mechanism that we refer to as respiration. Okay. Those children who are new, they can just listen to me now, and they will be also given the video links to share, to see that what was the actual whole class about. Okay, we have done 2 classes in this chapter now. This is, I guess, this might be my last class. I'm not sure about it, but this has to be last class from this chapter. So we were talking about respiratory organs. So first and foremost thing, what are the respiratory organs in humans? We have studied that since long. Who's going to tell me that? What are the respiratory organs in human beings? Yes. Tell me, children. Yes, Shillong. Tell me what are the respiratory organ you have? What is the respiratory organ in you? Yes. Anybody? Please. Tell me what is the respiratory organ you have. Tell me. It's very simple. Yes, very good. They are lungs, isn't it? So you have a paired lungs. You have two lungs, left lung and right lung, which are the respiratory organs, basically organs. But before the gas reaches to respiratory organ, it has to follow a whole track. Whole track as in, it starts from your nostrils, isn't it? It starts from your nostrils, and then the gas, we'll see a diagram. Quickly we'll see a diagram that is showing the particular structure of the respiratory organs, how they are actually working. Okay, so everybody, they can look over here on the slide. So this is what is the respiratory organ I was talking about. So it starts with your nostrils, then your nasal chamber. There was a lot of confusion in, yesterday I saw in group. Nasal chamber opens into nasopharynx. The nasopharynx is actually a part of pharynx, but this nasopharynx is a part which is an outlet to the nasal chamber. So nasopharynx, it further goes into oropharynx. The pharynx as a whole is a common passage for food and air, isn't it? So it opens into your food pipe, that is behind, and it opens into your windpipe, that is trachea on the outer side. So this is what is trachea kind of thing. So this epiglottis is preventing the entry of food into the trachea. So whenever you are having epiglottis, the epiglottis closes when you are swallowing. So this prevents the entry of food in trachea. Then following epiglottis, there is glottis. Glottis opens into larynx. Larynx is your voice box. Okay, the particular box which you use to produce sound is voice box. Larynx, then larynx followed by trachea. Trachea is bifurcating into, or it is dividing into two primary bronchi. Each bronchus enters in the lungs. Like we can see only the left part of the lung. This is the left lung you have been shown over here. So this bronchus, this further breaks into what? This further primary bronchus breaks into secondary, tertiary, and then tertiary bronchus further breaks into many bronchioles. So this is a whole branching kind of system. And these bronchioles, they open into alveoli. And what is alveoli? Alveoli is a bag-like structure or sac-like structure that allows the gaseous diffusion. So this is particular structure what we have till now discussed. Then further moving ahead, we have talked about some certain numbers of structures which are called as diaphragm, which are called as particular muscles that help you in breathing, like these kind of muscles. We have talked about intercostal muscles. Intercostal muscles, they help us to bring our ribs upward. Okay, so in that case, you need to, when you need to inhale, your volume of the whole thoracic cavity is increased. We remember all those things. And then we have talked about the whole structure. See, this is the epiglottis part I was talking about, all of you. We have discussed this thing also in the last class. So this is epiglottis, which epiglottis is what? It's a particular structure, flap-like structure. See this flap? After pharynx, it enters, and then it is entering in the esophagus. Okay, so this particular flap-like structure, this flap, can you see the flap? Yes, this flap-like structure is called as epiglottis. Am I sure? Sorry, am I clear, everybody? This is flap-like structure that is called as epiglottis, and this epiglottis prevents the entry of food in the trachea. So these were the volumes and capacities we were talking about. Those people, those children who are joined today only need not worry much about it. We'll be discussing, you can see the videos, and obviously you are always open to questions. You can ask the questions in the class as well as on the groups. Okay, and then you can proceed ahead with the chapter. There's nothing like connection to the old things. We are going to start a totally fresh new topic. So don't be worried about that, oh, we have missed many things. We would be having problem in covering up things. So it's nothing like that of that kind, but we can smoothly start the chapter. Okay. Just give me a thumbs up if you are clear up to this. Yes, children, all of you? Just give me a thumbs up. Shillong? Just give me a thumbs up if you are clear up to this. Yes, children? Nothing? Are we connected? Are we? Just give me a thumbs up if you are clear with this. No, not clear. Or I cannot see the thumbs up. Yes, I can see. Okay, fine. Okay, how many children are new? Just raise your hands. Those who are new. Just raise your hands, please. Okay, both of you are sitting on the first benches. Okay, so children, don't worry that, okay, this thing is new. This must be new, but it has no connection with the earlier topics. Okay, if so ever there is some connection, I will try to link it with the other topics that we have done, and we will be smoothly going on with the chapter. So don't worry, don't keep a thing on your mind that, okay, this must be done already by the teacher, and all the rest of the students, they know these things. They don't know. They are very, very new topics and not in much connection with the older topics. So we'll start with a new topic, that is, obviously the chapter is breathing and exchange of gases. And we have a new topic that is called as exchange of gases. So obviously the breathing thing is over, and now we are left with this thing. Okay, so we will be starting today exchange of gases. So how many of you know the term diffusion? Just raise your hands. How many of you know the term diffusion? How many of you have heard about this term diffusion earlier also? Yes, just raise your hands. How many of you know diffusion? Yes, many of you know diffusion. So what is diffusion? Who's going to define me? Who is going to define it? What is diffusion? Yes, children? Who's going to define me? What is diffusion? Nobody? Yes, somebody is typing. What is diffusion? Excuse me. Yes, yes, very good. So I gave you an example about this. I must have given you example. So when you are applying a deodorant, okay, that belongs to your elder sibling, and also like anybody else who has not allowed to do you so, okay, just like for example, I have kept my own deodorant, own perfume. I don't want my other siblings to use it, so I will be asking them, okay, don't use this thing. Now accidentally one day what happens is, I was out of the out of my home, and I was supposedly going to come back late. So what my brother did, what my sister did, they used my deodorant or perfume. Okay, sister is going to come after a long time, we can use these things, her things. So accidentally when I come and I discover that they are smelling in my perfume, so what would be my reaction? Obviously I would be telling them that should not use this thing. So how did I come to know that they are using this deodorant or perfume? Basically because of the molecules of the perfume that are diffusing out of their body, isn't it? They have applied the perfume. So the perfume molecules, they are moving from the higher concentration, that is their body, to the lower concentration area, that is the surroundings. So this is a simple mechanism which we term it to be diffusion. So diffusion is what? Basically when you talk about diffusion, diffusion is basically the movement. I will be writing the answer that I got from Shillong, very good. Movement of molecules, keep it up, from higher to lower concentration. So when you are moving the molecules from a higher concentration to lower concentration, you would be calling that particular thing to be what? To be diffusion. So if you are using a deodorant, if you are using any kind of essence, okay, essence sticks, all those things, agarbatti and all, so you are actually talking about diffusion. So diffusion is basically the molecules are moving from their higher concentration to their lower concentration. So the same mechanism is basically done in our system also when we are talking about all this scenario. Same mechanism is performed. So how many of you know about partial pressure? How many of you have heard this term, partial pressure? Partial pressure. Yes, how many? Can anybody type the answer? What is partial pressure? What is partial pressure? Now what is partial pressure? Let me tell you. Okay, fine, no issues. So partial pressure is the pressure of individual gas in a mixture of gases. So if you take example, a very simple example, your air is a mixture of gases, isn't it? And what we have is, we have oxygen, we have carbon dioxide, we have nitrogen and some other gases, like let's name them to be ABC, or just let it be up to here only. So these particular three gases are the main gases which actually contribute to the total pressure of a gas, isn't it? So if you are talking about a balloon, so a balloon has all these gases. It has oxygen, it has carbon dioxide, it has nitrogen, everything it has. But the pressure of oxygen will be different, the pressure of carbon dioxide will be different, and pressure of nitrogen will be different. Why? Because their concentration is different. So if you talk about your class, you have many students in your class, isn't it? So if there can be one thing, I will be taking all of you on a big weighing scale and putting all of you together, and I will be getting a total weight of the class, all of you. How many of you are in the class? I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can see 11. Just rectify me if I am not able to see all of you, because there is some reflection in the camera, I guess. So if I am taking everybody among you and I am talking about like what is the collective weight of all of you together, so 11, yes, I was correct, it is 11. So if I am taking all of you together on a weighing scale and measuring everybody's weight and telling that, okay, this is the weight, suppose we get a weight of 600 kgs. Just take an example. If we take it, we get a weight of 600 kgs. So it cannot be that everybody is of 60 kg in the class. Can it be? That everybody is on an average 60 kg in the class? No, it cannot be. Why? Because we all have different weights. If I am also included in your class, obviously I will be having a different weight compared to you people. So I cannot say that, okay, I am also 60 kg, you are also 60 kg, because individually we are having a different weight and together we are having a collective weight. So this collective weight is the pressure of the air, and the individual weight is the partial pressure. Partial pressure means the pressure exerted by the typical gas, the only gas when we are talking about the individual pressure units. So what is pressure? Partial pressure? The pressure exerted by individual gas in a mixture of gases. So when you have a mixture of gases, what is the pressure exerted by individual gas? That is called as partial pressure. Copy this, please. Everybody, am I clear? So, good evening Tamil Long, good evening Itanagar, how are you? Everybody, am I clear? Yes, Shillong Center. Itanagar and Tamil Long have just joined us. Just let me know if it is clear. I cannot see the thumbs up. Okay, fine. Everybody clear? All of you? Everybody? All of you are clear? With partial pressure? Okay, fine. And what about the two new kids who are sitting on the first bench? Yes, children, are you clear with this? Yes, children? Just give me a thumbs up if you are clear. No? No? Okay. Just give me a small thumbs up. Means there is some doubt. Okay. So this is the partial pressure of X, Y and Z, and air will be having a partial pressure of together X, Y, Z. Okay. So when you add together the pressures of individual gases, you get the total pressure of the air. And the individual gases, whatever the pressure they are exerting, this is called as partial pressure. Okay, I guess we have copied up till now. Yes, Tamilong, Itanagar, are we connected? I can see we are. Just let me know if the things are clear. Okay. So, I'll be showing you a small slide. This is like the partial pressure of gases. See. This is a particular table from your book itself. And this tells that what is the partial pressure of each gas in the particular region or particular area. Okay. Okay, fine. Yes, Itanagar. We're just proceeding with our chapter, that is breathing and exchange of gases. Fine. And I'm just discussing a very, very new topic, that is particular exchange of gases. So what we were talking about till now, Itanagar, just let's see a review of it. Okay. See, this is the particular lesson we are talking about. This is exchange, breathing and exchange of gases. Okay. So, all those children who are new, you just need to know that the respiratory organ in our system, in our body is basically lungs. Okay. So, these lungs are the organs which are working day and night. They are working in a particular way, manner that we are supposedly having a very good exchange of gases. So, the whole track through which the organs get the air is called as respiratory tract. The respiratory tract starts at your nose, this thing, this is called as external nostrils. Then we have is nasal chamber, and following nasal chamber we have a common area where you have food and water passage. So, it's called as pharynx. This pharynx further opens into a section called as epiglottis. This is epiglottis we have. This epiglottis is a flap-like structure. Flap means a cover. It's a flap-like structure, I'll be showing you an image after this, which prevents the entry of food in the trachea. Before that, we have larynx. Larynx is the voice box. Okay. This voice box is responsible for producing sound. So, when you are producing sound, you have the sound production region is called as vocal cord, which is present in the voice box. So, this voice box has what? It has vocal cords. So, you must have seen the cords on the particular guitar. So, similar kind of structures we have in our larynx also, in our voice box also, which actually vibrate to produce sounds. Then this larynx opens into a next tube-like structure called as trachea. Trachea opens into or divides into bronchus. So, what we have is we have two bronchus. You can see over here we have two bronchus. What are they? It's primary bronchus. So, primary bronchi. So, trachea divides into and each primary bronchi enters into right and left lung. So after entering in the right and left lung, the bronchi further divides. So the primary bronchi divides into secondary bronchi, secondary into tertiary. So this is a kind of branch-like structure. This is secondary bronchi, suppose. The secondary further divides into tertiary. Tertiary divides into bronchioles, and these bronchioles, they are having alveoli. See this structure. This is alveoli, this particular structure. So these alveoli are the particular units where actual exchange of gases is going to take place. And this is what we are doing today, exchange of gases. And this is a pleural membrane. What is pleural membrane? It is the covering of the lung. So your lungs are covered by a special kind of membrane-like structure called as pleural membrane, and these pleural membranes are functioning in a way to protect your lungs, and they are covering the whole area in a way that they are not infected or affected by any kind of outside agents. Now in between the pleural membranes, because you have two membranes and there must be some space in between, we have a particular fluid called as pleural fluid. The basic function of this pleural fluid is to reduce friction. Okay, to reduce friction when we are doing exchange of gases, the primary function. Then we have this structure called as diaphragm. See, all the area above diaphragm is thoracic chamber, and all the area below diaphragm is abdominal chamber or abdominal cavity. This is the cut end of the rib. So we have we have cut the rib to get a whole section of the lungs, because we know that rib cage is protecting your whole lungs and heart as a whole. So when we are cutting a particular section, obviously your ribs are also going to cut, and this is what the cut end of ribs are going to appear like. Yes, let me know if any confusion up till now. Tell me children, if any confusion up till now. Itanagar, Shillong, Tamenlong, any confusion up till now? Yes children, no confusion? Yes. Clear up till now, all of you? Itanagar? Children, you can just type yes or no. Okay, if you have any doubt, just let me know, and if things are clear, just type yes. Yes, very good Shillong. All of you? Itanagar, what about you people? And Tamenlong, you are not responding. Why? What happened children? Please respond. Let us know if you are clear. Itanagar, Government High School, Itanagar, please. Let me know if you are clear about this. Yes, children. Okay, fine. I guess we are clear up till now. So these are the things, see, whenever you are taking a CBSE board or you are taking the school exams, these are some of the important things which we actually have an access to. Now, this is the GIF, which actually I have shown already, but since we have some new people also after this thing was shown, so I will be repeating this thing. So we have this particular food swallowing mechanism, and this mechanism clearly shows that how the food is prevented from entering in the trachea. So this is the pharynx region. I just now told you that pharynx is the common passage for food as well as water. I must have told you. So this pharynx, how come the food is not allowed to enter in trachea? It's because of the epiglottis. So what is epiglottis? Epiglottis is the particular flap-like structure. I will just mark the epiglottis. Let me just pause this slide on that position. Oh. This particular region, this region is called as epiglottis. Okay, not this thing, but it was at the particular point earlier, this thing. This thing is called as epiglottis. So this epiglottis is the region that prevents the entry of the food. See this thing. It prevents the entry of the food in the trachea. Okay. So let's move ahead with the exchange of gases thing. I was showing you a particular slide where we have this partial pressure thing. So say partial pressure was what? The partial pressure was the pressure exerted by individual gas in a mixture of gases. So in this I gave you an example that's to understand this simple thing, that you take an average of everybody's weight in the class. Suppose it comes to be 40 kg. Suppose it comes out to be 40 kg. It does not mean that everybody is of 40 kg. Isn't it? If I am also in your class, it does not mean I am also of 40 kg, but yes, the average of the class is 40 kgs. But we all have our different ways, that weights can be more than 40, it can be less than 40, but yes, it must be in the range of 40, 50 only. That is why we get an average of 40. So this is what is actually the partial weight. Okay, what I am trying to explain you is partial weight. Partial weight is the weight exerted by each student in the total class weight. But what we are interested here in, we are interested here in partial pressure. So what is partial pressure? Partial pressure is the pressure exerted by individual gas in a mixture of gases. So if you're talking about this thing, supposedly I'm talking about oxygen. Let's talk about oxygen first. So in atmosphere, whenever you are having the whole scenario of oxygen, so atmospheric air has 159 mmHg of oxygen. Now, what is mmHg? mmHg is the particular unit of pressure. This is unit of pressure. So it's, if it is blood pressure, if it is atmospheric pressure, everything is measured in mmHg. So it's basically a unit of pressure, just like Pascal. In physics, you must be studying about Pascal and all those things. So this is a unit of pressure. Now in atmosphere, we have a total partial pressure of how much? For oxygen, we have 159. In alveoli, it is 104. In blood, which is deoxygenated. Now all of us know that deoxygenated is a particular blood which is having more of carbon dioxide but less of oxygen. And when the blood is oxygenated, you have a partial pressure of 95. So it is more of oxygen but less of carbon dioxide. And in tissues, you have 40. 40 is what? 40 mmHg is the partial pressure of oxygen in your tissues. That is what your tissues are doing. Then you have carbon dioxide partial pressure. It is 0.3 in the atmosphere. It is 40 in the alveoli, 45 in the deoxygenated blood, and 40 in the oxygenated blood. And on tissues, it is high, 45. So this is a particular kind of thing. Let's see how this is interrelated with the particular changes our system has. Let's see this diagram. So what I have now is, see this diagram everybody. So what I have now is that this is my alveoli. This whole structure is my alveoli. This blue thing what we can see on the top is our alveoli. Singular is alveolus, plural is alveoli. So this is, let's slide down, plural is alveoli. So this whole thing, this whole structure is having a different kind of mechanism to hold certain amount of fixed gas. So the partial pressure of oxygen over here is how much? 104. The partial pressure of CO2 is how much? It is 40. So this is 104, this is 40. What comes is that, what happens is that there is impure blood. This blue thing all over there is showing the impure blood, and the red part is showing the pure blood. So this is deoxygenated blood, this is deoxygenated. And this deoxygenated blood has a partial pressure of oxygen of how much? 40, and partial pressure of CO2 how much? 45. You can see the diagram. Just we have seen this thing. See, the partial pressure for oxygen is how much? In the deoxygenated it's 40 and it's 45 for CO2. Okay. So the partial pressure for oxygen is how much? It is 40. And partial pressure of CO2 is how much? It is 45. Where? In this area. So what is going to happen? The gases will move from their higher concentration to lower concentration. So this arrow is a CO2 moving upwards, because CO2 is more over here in the blue section, and oxygen is going to move downwards because oxygen is more in this alveoli. So alveoli, from the alveoli oxygen will migrate into the artery, and from the artery CO2 will move into the alveoli. This all happens because of the difference in the partial pressure. So what is going to happen over here? Let's see. If you have a sac-like structure like this, let's imagine, and you have a blood vessel over here. So CO2 will move from this side to this side, and oxygen will move from this side to this side. This is the only thing what is going to happen. Now, what would this be a change? How would this bring a change? Now, this blood is called as the oxygenated blood. This is the oxygenated blood. So this oxygenated blood is basically having more of oxygen. Now how much more of oxygen? What is the more data? PO2 is how much over here? PO2 happens to be 95. And POCO2 how much? It is 40. So you have more of oxygen now and less of CO2 now. Now this blood is called as oxygenated. All over this area it is oxygenated, all over this area. All the red section. So this is the oxygenated blood. See, this thing is called as oxygenated blood. This is present over here, okay, in the arteries. So this goes into the systemic arteries. Systemic arteries are the typical arteries which carry blood to your whole body. And this has a value of how much? This has a value of 95 mmHg and 40 mmHg of oxygen and CO2 respectively. So oxygen now is more over here in the red part. So what is going to happen? Now my tissues, let's see what tissues are doing. Now tissues are performing metabolism. So whenever you perform metabolism, you are producing a huge amount of CO2. So your CO2 is out to be more, and since you are utilizing oxygen, tissues have actually used up their all oxygen. Now what is happening? CO2 is more over here, isn't it, in the tissues? So they are going to move from the tissues into the blood vessel, and since oxygen is 95, 95 is obviously more than 40. So oxygen will be moving from this side to this side. That is from the artery into the tissues. And obviously if oxygen has moved to this section, CO2 has moved to this part, there will be more CO2 load on the blood, and this CO2 is how much? This CO2 has increased to 45. So this systemic vein has a similar kind of composition as the deoxygenated blood has, that is, it has more of CO2 45 and less of oxygen only 40. Okay, so this cycle keeps on repeating, and this is what is the actual purpose of respiration or breathing and exchange of gases. Actual purpose, that you are actually purifying the air, you are actually purifying the blood, and to purify blood what you need is, you need a lot of oxygen. So this oxygen is actually helping in purification of the blood, is actually helping in keeping your body in a particular stabilized condition, so that you can have all the exchange purposes, exchange thing going on. Okay, let me know if the things are clear, all of you. Let me know. We'll draw a quick diagram to have a good explanation. Let's draw on the notepad a quick diagram. Let's see. See. Let's have a quick diagram to have a good explanation about the whole scenario. So obviously this is my alveolus. So alveolus has how much oxygen? It has 104. How much CO2? It is 40. Now I have a blood vessel coming to my alveolus. Obviously this blood vessel, first of all, it carries what? It carries deoxygenated blood. So let me mark it in blue. Okay. And what is the partial pressure of gases in deoxygenated? The CO2 level is how much? 45, and oxygen level is how much? It is 40. Very clearly we can see over here, it is like oxygen is high here, oxygen is low here. PCO2 is low here, PCO2 is high here. So CO2 will move from its lower concentration to higher, and oxygen is going to move from its higher concentration to its lower concentration. Let's move ahead. What is this going to do? Okay. Now you have is what? After the exchange is done, once you have done the exchange, that is, you have moved the CO2 section from this region. Okay, let me use a thick marker. Let's do this thing again. Yes, this will make the things more clear. So CO2 is moving from the blood, and what is happening over here? Oxygen is moving. Oxygen is moving downwards. Okay, so oxygen is moving from alveoli into the blood. Now, let's move ahead. Now let's see the oxygen concentration after this whole scenario. So once oxygen is coming from the alveoli, obviously the partial pressure of oxygen is going to increase, and partial pressure of CO2 will decrease because much of CO2 has moved into the alveoli. Now this is going to encounter where? This is going to encounter in your tissues. This is going to encounter the tissues. This will go into the tissues directly. Obviously this is heart is going to do this thing. So we will be having our heart over here. So after from the heart, it is going to be pumped to tissues. And what tissues are doing? Tissues are continuously doing metabolism, isn't it? So they are producing carbon dioxide, and carbon dioxide is high, and they are continuously using oxygen. So oxygen over here is also low. So let's draw the artery section again. So this is the artery part coming over here. Let's see what is in the artery now. We all have just now seen that the artery has oxygen of how much partial pressure? 95. So this is high, this is low, and it has a partial pressure of CO2 how much? 40. So CO2 over is high. So what is going to happen? Let's again see with this marker what is going to happen. So what is going to happen? Now oxygen from this region is going to enter the tissues. Yes, because there is higher pressure of oxygen, and CO2 from this section is going to enter over here, because in arterial blood the CO2 is low. Now what would happen? Yes, the blood will now become deoxygenated, isn't it? The blood is now going to become deoxygenated, and this is going to move back to the lungs, obviously through the heart. We have studied all these things in our previous classes. Yes, Tamil Long, what do you want to roll back? Yes. Yes. What do you want to roll back, Tamil Long? What are you typing? Okay. This is what is the deoxygenation. So once the oxygen concentration and everything has been done, what happens is the whole scenario now again changes, and again changes how? This PCO2 becomes how much? This becomes 45, and this P oxygen becomes how much? This becomes 40. Now this moves up to here again, obviously through heart. This goes back to heart. We have studied these things, and from heart it again goes to the lungs. So this whole scenario is actually a part of the circulation just now what we did, this whole thing. So this whole mechanism moves on, keeps on moving when we talk about exchange of gases. Just copy it fast. Let me know if any problem. Need not draw in this way. Obviously this is a way to explain you. You can draw in your own way, but yes, keep in mind the gases will always move from their higher concentration to their lower concentration. Copy this. Yes, Tamil Long, what do you want me to roll back? Tell me. Yes. In the meantime, let me know if things are clear to all the centers. Please copy this. Yes. Itanagar, is it clear? So this is what is called as diffusion of gases. From higher concentration to lower concentration, the gases will move. So they are called as, this process is called as diffusion of gases. Yes. In the meantime, we are moving ahead with the second chapter. Obviously, we have not covered much in biology, and there has been, like, I guess, just one class in botany. So nothing much has been, we have not proceeded in a very, like, those who are new should not be confused that we have proceeded with a very huge amount of syllabus. We are moving ahead because we started late. The whole session starts late for 11th class. So we have started late, and we have different plans for you people. So what our plan is that we will be having a particular kind of system where you will be covered, you will be given total knowledge about the questions that are coming in your boards. And if you are interested, okay, it's not a compulsion. If you are interested, we will be having a small time talks about what kind of questions they come in NEET. Okay, so it's not compulsion for everybody, but yes, you will be having certain small questions from NEET also. I will be discussing from time to time that these type of questions do come in NEET. If you are interested, you can proceed with those questions. If you are not, you are free to use your time accordingly. Okay, so this is a particular thing, and we're just moving ahead with our second chapter in zoology. So just let me know if things are clear. Itanagar. Yes. Shillong, give me a thumbs up if you are clear with this particular thing, exchange of gases. Okay, very good, Itanagar. Yes, Shillong. Okay, nice. Yes, Naharlagan, you joined late. Where were you till now? Yes, Naharlagan, you are late. Okay, fine. So is anybody new at Naharlagan Center? Okay. So now this whole scenario proceeds. Let's see how it proceeds. What kind of structure is there to support it? Okay. Okay, you can continue with the class with this diagram, Naharlagan. I'll be explaining the things a bit in some time. Just be with us for this diagram. Find it interesting? So this is very interesting. This is structure of your alveoli. Those who are new, they know what is alveoli. Alveoli are these small sac-like structures that are present in huge number. Huge number means there are somewhat 750 million alveoli in both of your lungs. So if you take both of your lungs, you have how many alveoli? You have 750 million alveoli. It's a huge number. Okay, so you have many alveoli. So I'm just drawing one of them. Those children who are new, they can just have a little patience and keep drawing with me. This is alveoli. Air obviously goes into it, comes out of it. We all know this thing. This is alveoli. So this alveolar wall, as you can see, is very thin. Okay, only one cell. So in biology, if it is thin also, we write thick. Because nothing is thin in biology, everything is thick. Okay, this is one cell thick, and they have an axis of what? They have an axis of pulmonary capillaries. So this is pulmonary capillary just moving along with the alveoli. Let me draw this capillary wall in red so that we can differentiate a little. So you have this capillary wall. Just keep drawing with me. It's quite interesting. So we have a region in between. Let's name all of them. So the first section is what? Number 1 is squamous epithelium. Of alveoli. Number 2 is what? This is basement membrane. And number 3 is what? This is the endothelium of blood vessel. So whenever you talk about the gaseous exchange, everybody, whenever you talk about the gaseous exchange, so if I have oxygen over here, everybody knows that oxygen is high here. Okay, those people who are new, so oxygen is high over here, so obviously it's diffusion. Now you know what is diffusion. Diffusion is movement of gases from their higher concentration to, or movement of molecules from their higher concentration to lower concentration. So oxygen is at a higher concentration in this area. Can you see this? Oxygen is in high concentration in this area and oxygen is in low concentration in this area. So what is going to happen? Let me know what is going to happen. Yes, what would happen? Oxygen would be moving from this region to this region. So this is what is called as simple diffusion. This passive process, no requirement of energy, only the driving force is what? The concentration gradient. Concentration gradient means from high pressure to low pressure. So wherever there is more of molecules, the more molecules will start to move to a region of less molecules. So oppositely we have less of CO2 here, the partial pressure, let me say, and we have changed the color of the, let's have green highlighter, yes, excuse me. And what we have is more of CO2 in this region. So what is going to happen? Anybody? What would happen? CO2 will move from its higher concentration to its lower concentration. So this was the whole process. So in this particular diagram, what is the whole thing? That is, a gas has to cross number 1, number 2 and number 3 whenever they wish to undergo diffusion. For every purpose of diffusion is what? We have to make the 1 plus 2 plus 3 accessible. We need to cross 1 plus 2 plus 3, and when we are able to cross 1 plus 2 plus 3, that is all the membranes, what would happen? There would be happening the gaseous exchange. So this is the typical diagram what actually happens in our alveoli every day, every single second, in fact every millisecond, and you will be wondering like how much this can be thick. Anybody? How much is 1 plus 2 plus 3 equals to? I mean to say thickness. Obviously in mm. Yes, new students, can you please guess what can be 1 plus 2 plus 3? Nahalagan? What can be 1 plus 2 plus 3? Anybody? New, old, anybody? Can you guess? It is very, very thick, sorry, very, very thin. It's 0.01 mm. Okay. The total gives you a thickness of 0.001 mm only. So this is quite thin, and because of this particular thin structure, they are able to cross, the gases are able to diffuse so easily. So would it have been more thick, the diffusion process would have been more and more impossible. So if you guess, why don't we diffuse through our skin, why don't we respire? Okay, an earthworm can respire through its skin, a frog can respire through its skin, but why can't we? Because our skin is very thick. So for having a particular respiratory surface for exchange of gases, you need to have a very, very thin respiratory membrane. And that thin respiratory membrane is basically the characteristic feature that allows what? That allows diffusion. So the more thin it is, the more diffusible it is, more permissible it is for the gases. So gases would pass along it, through it in a very, very comfortable manner, as easy as possible. So this whole scenario is actually responsible for the gaseous exchange. Suppose there can be a situation where your alveoli is thick. So obviously the particular exchange of gases will not take place. So this whole three structure together, they form the diffusion membrane, they form the diffusion surface, and they help in the process of diffusion. So we call this 1, 2 and 3 to be what? We call this 1, 2 and 3 to be together as diffusion membrane, which allows the diffusion of gases across it. So what is diffusion? Diffusion is basically what? It is movement of molecules from its higher concentration to its lower concentration. Yes, are we clear? Tamenglong, Itanagar, Shillong, Naharlagun, are we clear up till now? Just let me know if we are. Everybody? Yes, Shillong can show me, give me a thumbs up. That would be more than sufficient for everybody. Yes. Just give me a big thumbs up, not the small ones. I'm not able to see this thumbs up. Yes. Just give me a thumbs up. All of you. Okay, very good. And new students? Shillong Center. Is okay? Are you able to understand? Don't worry, this is your first, I know this is the first online class, but don't worry, it's just as real as your physical classes, okay? You can talk to us on the groups, everybody, all the centers. Those people who are new, you can talk to us, we have different groups. We have different kinds of apps, okay, we have a Gurukul app, we have different kinds of medium just to make you comfortable with all those kind of subject matter that a physical student is getting. So the students whom I am teaching physically or to you people, we are having equal kind of program, we are having equal kind of attention, and obviously you have different groups, and those groups are meant not only to just give you a notification about routine, just to tell you about anything, but yes, if you are into those groups, you are actually a part of the discussion, a part of the question answering what every student is asking. So there are many students who actually keep on asking on group. You can just follow them. You can just have your questions also on the groups. So what kind of things we are discussing, what are the types of questions everybody is solving. So all those knowledge you will be getting on those groups and applications as well. Okay, so it's a very, very direct thing. So whenever you have a problem, you can just pose the problem in the group. As soon as we get an access to it, it might be it might take a small patience time. We wish to have a small patience time because we are sometimes busy in classes. So as soon as we get the access to those messages, we read those messages, we make a point that we are answering those questions. Okay, fine. So just be cool, don't be nervous, don't be impatient. The things would be gradually coming to you. Okay? Am I clear, everybody? Naharlagun, tell me. Yes. Yes, new children at Naharlagun. Let me know if things are clear. Yes, Tamenglong is all clear. Okay. And what about Shillong? Shillong is also clear. Okay, fine. And Itanagar? Yes, you will be having a break. Just first copy this thing. Okay, you can have a break, but first copy this thing. Yes, Naharlagun, tell me. Just tell me yes or no. Are you clear up till now? Naharlagun children, did you copy everything? Yes, Naharlagun. But it is actually the thickness of each membrane, it gives you a total of 0.01. Okay. Thickness of all the membranes when taken together, they are having a thickness of 0.01 mm. It's that way that 1 plus 2 plus 3 means it's not like 1, 2, 3. Okay. It's actually when you add, where is my pen? Okay, actually when you add this squamous epithelium, when you add this basement membrane, and when you add endothelium of the blood vessel, I mean to say this whole thing together, these three things together, this gives a thickness of 0.01. Okay, when you take into account this whole thing together, let me give it a red color. So when you have into account this whole thing, okay, this red thing, whole thing, red, this is actually 0.01 mm. This is 0.01, sorry, 0.1 mm. It's double zero before, after decimal. So this is three sections. That means what? The first squamous epithelium, then we have basement membrane, and number 3 we have endothelium of the blood vessel. Okay, fine. Time along. I'm clear. Am I clear? Yes. So these three membranes are the particular barriers through which the exchange of gases will take place. Exchange of gases, why? Why do we need exchange of gases? We need because we have to transport oxygen from alveoli into the blood, because oxygen is required for the basic processes. So you are actually transporting from alveoli to the blood. So whenever you are transporting from one part to another, you need to cross certain barriers. And what are the barriers? The first barrier is this particular structure. This is called as squamous epithelium of the alveoli. Squamous epithelium is a kind of epithelium that is present in the alveoli membrane. Then it has to cross this blue thing. This blue thing is what? This blue thing is basement membrane. Basement membrane is a membrane present between the empty spaces. And then you have is what? The number 3 you have is this thing, endothelium of the blood vessel. So together all these layers need to be circumpassed when you are talking about exchange of gases along the concentration gradient. So if CO2 needs to be transported from this area to this area and oxygen from this area to this area, all these 3 layers have to be passed through. And when you are passing through all these 3 layers, what is happening? The exchange of gases is happening. So this 1, 2, 3, squamous epithelium, basement membrane and endothelium of the blood vessel, together they are giving a thickness of 0.001 mm. Clear na lagan? Clear? Clear? Everybody? Yes. Tell me. Okay, fine. So if it's not, just let me know, otherwise you can have a 5 minutes break. Okay, just reassemble by 5, it's 11 now. Just reassemble by, make sure assembling by 5:17, let's say. Okay, fine. Back from the break? Yes. Had break? All of you? Okay. So let's resume. Let's continue our class. Yes. So are the things up till now clear to one and all? Tell me. Is everything clear till now? Very good, Shillong. Yes, Tamanlong, what about you? What about Itanagar, Naharlagan? Yes, tell me, children. So you need to speak to me unless and until you are telling me your problems, you are telling me your views, you are sharing your thoughts, isn't it? You are answering my questions. I won't be able to get at what you are feeling. Okay, fine. Okay, hello, Tamanlong. So tell me, yes, Naharlagan, are the three membranes clear now? Yes, Naharlagan, are the three membranes clear now to everybody? Okay, can I proceed? Yes, Naharlagan, are we connected? Not properly, why? What happened, Itanagar? What is not clear? Tell me, what is not clear? See, you need to cross a few membranes to, like, just take an example. Supposedly you are a gas. Okay, you are a gas. So let's take an example of ghost. Okay, suppose there is a ghost. Okay, it wants to go to a certain place. So, like, we have been like seeing all those animations and everything, and we know that ghosts, they can cross walls. Irrespective of all those things, I don't believe in ghosts. But yes, just to explain you. So now, if a ghost wants to go to another section, okay, there are 3 walls. What would a ghost do? It has to cross all the 3 walls. Suppose this is first, second, third wall. So a ghost from this side will cross first the first, second, and then third the wall. And after crossing all the 3 walls, it will get access to the other section. Isn't it? Similar is the case with the gases also. The only thing is what? The gases, they are having a diffusion, a particular constraint is diffusion. Diffusion is what? When the molecules of gases, they move from their high concentration to their lower concentration. So if I am having a lot of deodorant or perfume molecules on my body, obviously I am going to eliminate it, obviously I am going to release it in my surroundings. Isn't it? Why? Because I have more on my body. Just take an example of gas leakage. Okay, suppose there is a new gas, you have started gas cylinder, LPG cylinder, you have just started a new cylinder at your home. Sometimes it gives a typical smell. Obviously, we know the smell, what the smell is, because of a particular additional substance to give you that detection. But yes, there is more of gas inside, so there is more of leakage. Chances of leakage, obviously. But as the cylinder gets emptied and emptied, the pressure decreases and the diffusion constraint also decreases. Isn't it? So, if you are having more of concentration of a gas, of a molecule, you have to, or you can say the molecules will surely move from their higher concentration to their lower concentration. Just as in case you are using a deodorant or perfume. Okay? So this is how they are going to cross. So this is the crossing of oxygen from alveoli, because your alveoli is filled with oxygen. So oxygen from alveoli will enter into blood, and carbon dioxide from the blood will enter into the alveoli, because oxygen is more in alveoli and CO2 is more in blood. Clear? Clear with everybody? Yes, children. Tamanlong, Itanagar, Naharlagan, Shillong. Yes. Okay. I guess it must be clear now. Okay, fine. So I am moving ahead with transport of gases. So we have two mechanisms, also two gases which need to be transported. What are they? Oxygen and carbon dioxide. Okay, so the first gas for exchange is oxygen and the second is carbon dioxide. So when you talk about transport of oxygen, let's see the first section, A, let's name it, transport of oxygen. Transport of oxygen takes place by two different medium, two modes. The first mode is dissolved in plasma, and second mode is binds to hemoglobin to form oxyhemoglobin. Second is dissolved in plasma. If you see the percentage, comparative percentage, suppose I am talking about 100 molecules of oxygen, only 3 will be transported out of 100 molecules, that is 3% only, in dissolved form in plasma. Whereas you have rest 97% being transported by hemoglobin, that is bound to hemoglobin in the form of oxyhemoglobin molecule. So simple thing, what I understand is you have to add hemoglobin to oxygen, and this binding is always reversible. You have studied the reversible and irreversible arrows in earlier classes also. So this is reversible binding to form HbO8. I will tell you why O8. Just now I'm going to tell you. So this is the whole equation of hemoglobin binding to oxygen. So this HbO8 is called as oxyhemoglobin. Done? Is clear? So 97% of oxygen is carried out in the form of HbO8. It's clear? Everybody? All of you? Clear? Shillong? Tamenglong? Yes. Naharlagun? Itanagar? Tell me if oxygen transport is clear. Yes, everybody. I want to answer from every center. Naharlagun, Itanagar, yet to answer. Are you getting whatever is being taught, children? Please tell me. Itanagar, Naharlagun. Please let me know if things are clear. Yes, I will proceed. Wait, Tamilongan, have some patience. Let your others, let your friends, they also give me a response. Yes, children from Itanagar, Naharlagan, tell me. That means no response means, shall I proceed? So there must be some particular factors that actually favor the formation of oxyhemoglobin. Obtain? Why need to obtain it? It is just formed. It's just a form in which oxygen is carried. You need not obtain it. Okay. Now, let us see once the construction of hemoglobin. Okay, we need not obtain it, children. We have just to form it. This is a particular form in which oxygen is carried. Okay. Now let us see what is hemoglobin structure. Hemoglobin is made up of 4 polypeptide chains, out of which 2 are alpha chain and 2 are beta chain. So we say this chain to be alpha to beta 2. So we have 4 chains of hemoglobin. What are they? 2 alpha and 2 beta chain. Now each alpha chain has 1 Fe2 plus and each beta chain has 1 Fe2 plus. Iron. You must have studied iron is present in hemoglobin. Deficiency of iron causes anemia, isn't it? So if there is deficiency of iron, hemoglobin will not form, and in this case the oxygen will not get into oxyhemoglobin form. No oxyhemoglobin means no oxygen transport. No oxygen transport means obviously anemia. Each iron can bind to, each Fe2 plus I mean to say, each Fe2 plus can bind to 1 oxygen. So if I say that one hemoglobin has 4 Fe2 plus, I am correct, isn't it? And each 4 Fe2 plus can bind how many oxygen? 1 oxygen means 4 Fe2 plus means it can bind to 4 oxygen. So when it is binding to 4 oxygen, what actually you are getting? You are getting a hemoglobin molecule associated with 4 hemoglobin, 4 oxygen. This was the thing I was talking about. See, that is why one hemoglobin can carry 4 oxygen, because it has 4 iron and each iron can carry 1 oxygen molecule. Thus, one hemoglobin can carry, 1 HB can carry how much? 4 oxygen molecules. Clear? Because each hemoglobin has 4 Fe2 plus and each Fe2 plus can bind to 4 oxygen molecules. So total one hemoglobin can carry 4 oxygen. So if you are given 10 hemoglobin is going to carry 40 oxygen molecules. Okay? Am I clear up till now? Okay, shall I proceed? Everybody, have you copied this? Is it clear? Shillong, Tamilnong, Itanagar? Yes, everybody at Shillong. Shillong, Itanagar, Tamilnong, Naharlagan. Clear to all? Just give me a thumbs up, Shillong. Since I can see you. I want everybody's response. All of you have understood? Yes. Oh, very good. Yes, the people sitting in the last benches, they are most active, I guess. Yes, children, front benchers. Tell me, is it clear, Shillong? Just give me a thumbs up, please. No? Not clear? What is not clear? Yes. Very good. Answer the children. What is not clear? Please let me know. Itanagar, Tamenlong, Naharlagan, tell me what is not clear. Itanagar, let me know what is not clear, not question marks. Okay, just let me know what is not clear. Yes, Itanagar. So how many molecules of oxygen one hemoglobin can carry? How many molecules of oxygen one hemoglobin can carry? If I am giving you one hemoglobin, how many oxygen molecules will it bind to? Yes. All the centers, answer this quickly. Everything is on the slide. Nothing. How many hemoglobin one oxygen can carry? Come on. Sorry, how many oxygen one hemoglobin can carry? See, I am forgetting the question itself. How many oxygen can one hemoglobin molecule can carry? Oxyhemoglobin is found by binding of hemoglobin with oxygen. Okay. So for this binding purpose, you need to have iron. Oxyhemoglobin is formed by when you add hemoglobin to oxygen. Okay. When hemoglobin is added with oxygen, what you get is oxyhemoglobin. See, oxygen, oxy from oxygen, and hemoglobin full. So it's like oxygen binding to hemoglobin is called as oxyhemoglobin. Okay. Clear? And one hemoglobin has how many iron? This whole process, oxygen binding, is actually mediated by Fe2+. So one hemoglobin has 4 Fe2+. I have given the whole description over here. And one Fe2+ can bind to oxygen, isn't it? So each Fe2+ is one oxygen binding. So total 4 Fe2+ equals to 4 oxygen binding. Very good, Shillong. Clear? Itanagar? Now, let's see the factors affecting formation of oxyhemoglobin. So the first and foremost factor affecting oxyhemoglobin formation is the partial pressure of carbon dioxide. The next factor comes is the H+ ion concentration. The third factor is temperature. So what happens is, whenever there is a particular value where the level of CO2 is less, say PCO2 is less. If PCO2 is less, automatically the H+ is less, and more is the carbon dioxide, more temperature, so less carbon dioxide means less temperature. These things, they favor the formation of oxyhemoglobin. So these things are going to favor the formation of oxyhemoglobin. What things? Number 1, the concentration of or the partial pressure of CO2. Number 2, the H plus ions when less, and number 3, temperature. This is the first thing. Number 2, when CO2 or PCO2 is high, when H plus is high and when temperature is also high, this favors the dissociation of oxyhemoglobin. So dissociation is favored in this way. Yes. So formation is favored when? The formation is favored when there is low level of CO2, low level of H plus, low level of temperature, and dissociation is favored when there is high level of CO2, high level of temperature, more temperature obviously, and more of H plus. So these are the factors which actually favor and are against the dissociation and association of oxyhemoglobin. So oxygen is going to bind to hemoglobin when there is low partial pressure of carbon dioxide, when there is low pH, when there is low temperature. Oxygen is going to release from hemoglobin. Okay, oxygen will be released from hemoglobin in a way that when there is high level of CO2, when there is high level of H plus, when there is high level of temperature. So there are 3 factors which basically control the binding of hemoglobin to oxygen. What are these factors? The first factor is the low level of carbon dioxide. If there is low level of carbon dioxide, there will be more of oxyhemoglobin formation. If there is low level of H plus, again more of oxyhemoglobin formation. If there is low temperature, again we have high level of formation of oxyhemoglobin. Now reverse conditions actually initiate the breakdown or the hemoglobin. Since I showed you here also, just now we have seen that thing, that this particular binding is reversible. Can you see this thing? So reversible means what? When there is more of CO2, okay, when there is more of CO2 and those kind of things, that is more of H plus, more of temperature, this direction will be favored. That is HbO8 will break into Hb4O2. And if there is less of CO2 and all those factors, what would happen? The dissociation will be favored. Let's see that again. So if you are talking about Hb plus 4O2, it's a reversible arrow. Let's see what happens. We have HbO8. So if there is low level of partial pressure of CO2, there is low level of H plus, forward reaction. If there is low PCO2, if there is high PCO2, there is high H plus, high temperature, the backward reaction is favored. Am I clear? And this is what? This is oxyhemoglobin. So oxyhemoglobin forms and dissociates depending on the concentration of three things, that is CO2, H plus and temperature. Are we clear up to this? Everybody? Yes, Shillong, very good. Itanagar, Naharlagun, Tamenlong. Let me know if you are clear up to this, please. Let me know, children, if you are clear up to this. Itanagar, Naharlagun. Okay. Naharlagun, what about you people? You people? Excuse me. Yes. Everybody clear up to this? So, clear? Everything's clear up to this? Okay. So, what we are going to do next, we are going to draw a graph. Let me just check if I have this graph. Yes, I have this graph. Okay, so we are going to see this graph. So, these were the three surfaces I was teaching you. Okay, these are the three surfaces. See, if not clear, you can see over here also. So, this was the, where is it? This was the first layer. This is made up of what? This is made up of squamous epithelium. The second layer. And this blood capillary, this green thing. This is endothelium of blood capillary, the number 3 layer. So together we have 3 membranes that a gas has to cross from this side to this side and this side to this side, vice versa. So because of these 3 layers, what we are having is, we are having a thickness to be followed by a gas. So it has to follow these 3 things, the green on the alveolar side, the yellow in between, and again the green on the endothelium of the blood capillary. So when they cross these things, they come to axis of, okay, so let's do some questions. Okay, answer this question, everybody. Answer this question, please. All of you. Try doing this question. Yes, you just answer, it is A, B, C or D. Yes, Shillong, very good. Yes, Itanagar, come on. No problem, Itanagar, don't worry. Just watch once the video. Okay, you're not late. It's not late actually. I guess you are late for the class today. But no problem, you can just watch the video once again. You will be able to get. Otherwise, in the next class, we will clear up the things. No need to worry for it. Okay? Just let me know this particular question. We are not running late. We are not late actually. Yes, answer this question. Everybody? Yes. Okay. Yes, Naharlagun? Okay. See, what I was talking about in the whole thing was that there is high level of oxygen and low level of carbon dioxide here, and what here we have is high level of CO2 and less level of oxygen. So what is going to happen? There will be diffusion. Okay, Ijanagar, listen carefully. Tamil you too. So there will be diffusion. What is diffusion? I explained you. Diffusion is what? Diffusion is actually the movement of molecules from its higher concentration to its lower concentration. So this oxygen has to move from this side to this side, and this CO2 has to move from this side to this side. So this is diffusion. Okay. So whenever you are having a deodorant, a perfume, you can smell your people like around you. That is basically, you can smell the aroma of food also, because of diffusion of the particular particles, the food particles from the food towards the surrounding, because the food has more of those molecules compared to surroundings. So this is simple diffusion. Diffusion never requires energy. Okay, just mention one more point. Diffusion is always energy independent. So it never requires energy. This whole process is just passive. Passive means let the thing happen. Like if the water is flowing, you just keep on flowing with the flowing water in the same direction. It's called as passive movement. So the correct answer for this question would be what? Is governed by, yes, is totally governed by diffusion. Okay? Itanagar, did you get something? Tamil Long? Yes, children? Is it clear now? All of you? Itanagar, Tamil Long, Naharlagun? Yes. Itanagar, what about you, child? Don't be upset, don't be afraid. It's okay. It's very normal. Okay, it's very normal. You just see the video once, you would be able to understand everything. Don't worry. Nothing is difficult. Okay? Yes, Itanagar, tell me. Okay, fine. Yes. So we'll wrap up the class for today. Let us have this much of discussion. We will wrap up the class and we'll start up with the next topic. That is what I was supposed to show you in graph. We'll start up with the next topic. Yes. Let me know if things are not clear. Everybody, is everything clear? Whatever has been taught in the class, is the class clear to? Yes. Itanagar, don't be upset. The new people, the new children from any of the centers, don't be upset. We have not moved ahead. It is just because you have joined us in middle of chapter. That is why you might be finding yourself to be lost. But yes, you just ask your coordinator to share the videos. We already have some videos of the previous classes. Just we have like five classes in biology have been done. You just ask the last two videos. The last two videos are from the respiration. You just ask them to share the last two videos and you just go through that video. Not once, but try to go through that 2-3 times, because I know we have a language barrier. The kind of English I am speaking and kind of English you people speak is a bit different. I know that thing. But yes, we can try and understand each other's problems, but that is very much clear. If you practice, if you go through the things again and again, and obviously you must be in the group, you just can ask us, you can just, we are all in the groups, all the teachers, you just ask all your teachers, they are always there to help you out. Okay, no need to worry about it, don't be upset, don't be depressed, we are here for you only. Okay, just let us know your problem. That is the only request we need to do. Let us know your problem. We are here for you. Okay, fine. So just wrap up the class. Don't be afraid. That is only my message to you. It's 11th class. I know the things I have elaborated, but it was the same thing for us also. When we were in 11th class, things were very much new for us also. But see, we have coped up, isn't it? So will you. So for that thing, you need to practice. You need to practice. You need to go through the things many times. Okay, this is a common phenomenon every science student faces. After 10th, 11th is a bit difficult, but not impossible. Okay, you will be able to cope up. You will be able to do it with determination, with regular practice, guidance, everything. Okay, so let's move on. Let's go back home. Okay, have some good food. Isn't it? Long tiring day. We must be back from the school directly to the class, I know. So let's wrap up the class. We'll be meeting next day with the same topic. Obviously, transport of oxygen is not over yet. I need to discuss one more small thing with that, and we hope to finish this chapter in the next class. And those people who don't get anything or understand, please share your problems with us. We are able to help. And yes, any problem up till now? Rest of the centers? People are waiting at Shillong. Just let ma'am go. We will also leave. Is it? Sit down, child. Why are you standing? Sit down. Okay, fine. So let's wrap up the class. Good night. Thank you so much. Have a nice time. Okay, bye-bye. Tata. See you soon.